Hey guys, Pito here, coming at you with a new list. This is an updated list for Runick Striker moving into the next format. I've done a little bit of testing so far, but I still got a lot to do. But I wanted to give you all a starting point, basically where I've been at. And if you got any suggestions or questions, just drop them in the comments. I'll make sure I get to them. But let's get right into the list. So for the Runick stuff, 3 Runick Flashing Fire, 3 Tip, 3 Destruction, 3 Curses, 3 Slumber, 1 Storm, and 2 Fountain. I Before the list was announced, I was testing another build that played 3 Fountain just because we always wanted to open it. But oh well, I guess Konami forced my hand to only play 2, but you only need 2. And then I play the 1 Storm, and I don't play either the drop or the other one that hits a card out of your opponent's hand because you can't really resolve them too often. And since this deck already kind of deep draws, I think this ratio is perfectly fine. But yeah, that's the Runic. Not much has changed. The striker list has changed a lot. I went from a bigger striker list to a very small striker list, and I'll point that out. And now I'm going back to a bigger one. But we're playing 3 Linkage, 3 Widow Anchor. I'm trying out the 2 multi-roll. You can play 1, but three's just wrong. It's too bricky, and I think 2 might even be too bricky since you can just kind of search the second copy. Um, since you're going to be searching it either way, but I'm trying 2 right now, but you can definitely cut it down to 1. In worst case, the second one is a side out target. And then uh, 1 Hornet Jones and 1 Ray. Uh, I had cut these 2 when I started playing less striker cards, but now that we're playing more, I added them back in. The 1 Ray actually comes in clutch pretty often, and yeah, you'll dead draw her fairly consistently, but you can pitch her with Hugin, so it's whatever. But the second one does come in handy, at least. And then 2 Afterburner. Ignore this. My second Afterburner's in the mail. I never really played Go Second Striker. I've always played kind of the control variant. Uh, so so I never picked up a second Afterburner, but now with the new list, I was like, well, let me pick up a second Afterburner. It's in the mail. It'll be here soon. Testing online, the second one definitely comes up, and I've been kind of missing the second one, like even before the list dropped, before I started testing the new list. So yeah, we're gonna be playing 2 of those. It's just good, and you can side one out going first, and then the best feeling in the world, 2 engages. Um, I felt like this deck was really close to going over the top, but by adding the second gauge, I think it's exactly what this deck needed to be able to compete in a meta game and keep up. And then for the non-engine cards, we still play 3 Curry Bandits. I'll tell you why. I'll show you the combo of why we play this card. He's going to get hit by every hand trap in the book, but with Gamma rotating out, it's a little bit better now, and he's just kind of a good card. Um, and I'll show you the combo later of why we play him. And then 3 Lava Golem, since we don't really normal summon except for Curry Bandit. Oh, you just kind of want to play Lava Golem to out problematic boards. Uh, like this card can kill super heavy now that they're not putting up like 5 different monsters consistently. And then 1 time tearing, 1 thrust, and 1 tactics. This is kind of like a flex spot, so you can kind of make this whatever you want. This is your, and truthfully, this too, like just, like both of these, you can cut if you want. But this is your third copy of Engage. This is Talents. This is a third copy of Afterburners. It searches your Morganite. Um, it it does a lot for the deck. So that's why I added it. Do you want to play more than one? Probably not. Because and then I don't know. People like to play around this card a lot, so I have yet to resolve it, except for the very first week I was testing this. But in theory, it's good. But yeah, that's it for the main deck. We'll move on to the extra deck. Uh, so we have 3 Kagari. Yes, I'm still playing 2 Korean ones because they're pretty. Cry about it. I'll change them out when I actually go to an event. 3 Shizuku. I was playing 2 because of the smaller list, and I think 2 might still actually be correct because you're going to end up with a lot of your cards in the graveyard, and she's just going to be dead a lot of the times. But I put the third one back in because we're playing more striker cards. Um, so this is what I'm testing. But this is definitely like a flex spot. You can change this to whatever you want. And then one Zeke, one Hayate, and one Kaina. Kaina comes in clutch when you eventually do go into time, because you will. Hayate's clutch because I don't really see the need of more than one. Maybe you can maybe you can add in the extra Hayate, um, the second Hayate, but I rarely miss the second one because you really only need to resolve it once, and you're rarely killing your opponent through combat. And then only one Zeke because we also play Donner. You can definitely play the second Zeke if you're playing the pure version. The second Zeke is necessary, but I think with this version, the second Zeke isn't necessary, and Donner's actually a lot better because you need to be able to get Hugin out of your link zone if you can without using crashing him into something. And then for the Runick cards, we're playing two Hugin, one Mudan, and or Munin, and then one Gary. This could be a second Gary if you want, but I find just sitting on him a lot of times is actually pretty powerful. If you get hand trapped and you already open up the field spell, sometimes you just summon him and pass and gain the life points, and he helps in time. And then one Zeus. This is definitely a flex spot. I couldn't really think of anything else to put here except for like maybe the second Hayate or Zeke, but I just felt wrong. So I decided to go with Zeus because you can Widow Anchor your opponent's Xyz monster and then just make the Zeus over it. It's mostly theory. I haven't done it yet, but and especially since you might not have your battle phase to do it, but these two are definitely flex spots, and possibly this is a flex spot too. If I were to replace these, I would probably replace it with either the light or dark charmer, and then Celine and access code, so you have some form of closing ability. Uh, but it's really up to you. I might try that, but I don't have a Celine, so when I get a Celine, I'm gonna test that. But that's the extra deck, and then for the side deck, um, for the go second cards, uh, three evenly, Duster, and Pink. So these are all the go second cards I'm playing. Probably should be more, but here's my theory. When you look at your matchups, our matchup against Pearly and our matchup against Pearly, Super Heavy, and Kashtira already got a lot better. And those decks we already had, like Kashtira, we were already having an advantage over. Like this deck actually is pretty good against Kashtira. Uh, and Pearly and Super Heavy are rough, but with the new ban list, it's a lot less rough. And so, what I actually think is going to be the best deck is Labyrinth. So, I really wanted to prioritize going second against Labyrinth. So, I just settled on these five cards. Pink is a great card. I side this in going first, going second, doesn't matter. If you're playing Runick or a striker list, you should be playing Pink. He just out so many problems, especially like anti spell running around. So yeah, I would highly recommend these five cards. Um, or sorry, we're trying out these. I would like to put in some more go second cards, but there's a reason why I have these. So let me go over my go first cards. So we have Called By, three Vanities Fiend, three D Fissure, and three Tiki Boo. And here's my theory. We kind of go into stun. D Fissure, no, we don't care if any of our monsters go to the graveyard to get banished. Not a single one in here do we care if they go to the graveyard. So it does turn off. It does turn off linkaging away your own monster, but like who cares? Just linkage away one of your spells and traps. And this turns off Droll, it turns off Veiler, it turns off the other ones that need to go to the graveyard, as well as it actually just dicks down a lot of decks that are in the format. So that's why we're playing D Fissure. Tiki Boo, Tiki Boo fucks the format a lot. There's a lot of decks that this just auto wins against. Uh, so that's why it's in here. And same thing with Vandy's Fiend. Like You can easily just summon Hugin, search the field spell, and then tribute summon for Vanity's Fiend. And the reason why I'm playing three of each is I think the correct answer is to play three of one of these and then two of the other. And I don't know which one's the best yet. I have a feeling it's going to be Vanity's Fiend. But because game two and game three, they're going to side in back row hate and not monster hate. So I'm thinking it's going to be like three Vanity's Fiend, three Tiki Boo, and then, or sorry, two Tiki Boo and two D Fissure. And then these are going to become Ghost second cards. But I'm not sure yet. I need to do some more testing on it. And then Called by the Grave. Called by the Grave is, it's Called by the Grave. It can save you. It can absolutely, like, if you open it, it just, you hit a hand trap. It's Called by the Grave. But yeah, that's the list. Super easy, super simple. Um, the list is simple. The deck is not. It's actually pretty kind of a pain in the ass, and I have room temperature IQ, so I don't pilot it super well. But let me just kind of go over the combo real quick. So the reason why we play Curry Bandit is in case we open up not a great hand. Uh, so what you can do is summon wings by pitching anything, and search your fountain, and then go in your draw phase. So like because quick play spells you play in your draw phase, you draw phase, search fountain, go to your main phase, activate fountain, and then activate Curry Bandit. So I'm gonna shuffle my hand real quick, and I'm gonna do a test hand real quick. And let's just say we open Curry Bandit. So you can do a lot in the in phase with this, and a lot of people don't like to shotgun droll in the in phase. So you can do a whole lot. So we have Curry Bandit, Slumber, Flashing Fire, and then two other cards. Doesn't matter. So what you can do is you can go draw phase, activate, ditch, summon Hugin. Hugin. This is not Hugin. What am I doing? Where's Hugin? Hugin. Hugin search the field spell. Activate the field spell. Or sorry, move to your main phase one. Activate the field spell. Normal summon Curry Bandit. So let me just give it one more good riffle shuffle. And then activate Curry Bandit. So sending this to the graveyard. You can then resolve this effect. So we're gonna flop 5 off the top. 2, 3, 4, 5. And let's say these weren't Runick cards. Like let's just say this was like double Lava Golem. You open up crap, right? You can then proceed to just grab one of your spell cards. Ideally, it's something like this, or something you can actually activate. So you can be like, I'm going to add Runick Slumber, and then still in your end phase, activate the Runick Slumber you just added, and then activate your Fountain, and then put 3 back because we flopped up to 3, and then just draw 3 more. So now you've gone up to 5 cards in hand, and that draw was trash, but you've gone up to 5 cards back in hand with 3 cards in the graveyard. Um, Also in the end phase, if say you already have a critical mass of Runick cards and you don't really want to do that, you can add back your linkage, and then still in the end phase, linkage away Hugin, and then summon Shizuku, and then since you're in the end phase, you can just search your engage. Um, and linking away Hugin is really strong in this deck because if you go draw phase, summon Hugin, activate Hugin, and they proceed to try to Imperm, Valor, Ghost Mourner, any of those, you can chain linkage to that, send it to the graveyard, summon Shizuku, and then Hugin will dodge their hand trap, and you'll be able to end phase Shizuku search. Or if you want the linkage because it's just a good card, you can go into Kagari and add back the linkage you just used and set it. Another thing you can do in the end phase is with the Curry Bandit play. If you open, let me move these back over to the extra deck. If you open multi roll, and let's get Hugin back on the field, you can Hugin add linkage, linkage. Sorry. So like, say you Curry Bandit flopped and you flopped a linkage or a Widow Anchor or any Sky Striker card, you can add that, then activate it, and then resolve multi roll to reset it. Um, so there's a lot of niche plays that Curry Bandit, and then it sets up your graveyard with three spells because the chances of you not hitting at least three spells off of Curry Bandit is little to nothing. And let me double check so I'm not lying to you. Yeah, it's not once per turn. So if you manage to be a god and open two Curry Bandits and Morganite, you can go Morganite, activate, normal summon two Curry Bandits, and then activate both Curry Bandits to then add two, excavate 10 and add two. So yeah, that's just kind of some of the ignorant plays and kind of the whole reason I've been wanting to play this deck and test this deck, is just because you can make a lot of like really dumb and ignorant plays like that. But yeah, I've really been enjoying this. It's a lot of fun. And if you have any questions or concerns, maybe I gave you a rolling that's not right. I've been playing a lot of Magic, so I've been kind of getting my rollings mixed up. Let me know. Flame me in the comments. But if you do, drop a subscribe. Let me a like. Let me know what you're thinking, and I'll make sure I keep you up to date as I test. This is a at this point consideration for nationals. Um, I was thinking about going with Pearly because I just picked up Pearly, and like 2 days later they released the ban list because of course they fucking do. And then I also am looking at maybe possibly playing plants because I'm a plant guy. I have like 40 different lists for that, or playing dragons. They're all viable options. But yeah, again, thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next one.